Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our Shura Council meet and greet, candidate meet and greet. My name is Mohib. I'm the Shura Council coordinator. So we'll keep this kind of brief because I know tomorrow is a work day. So the goal is to keep it under 1 hour, or 1 hour exactly. We'll start with intros, but it'll be limited to 30 seconds per candidate. It's because we don't want to be here all night. And we'll also have 30 seconds for questions. Questions must be asked of all candidates, not individual candidates. And we're limiting to 1 question per person. And if everyone asks their question, then we can give two questions per person. So we'll start with, who's at the end? Brother Imtiaz, please introduce yourself. I'll pass you the mic. 30 seconds.
I can do it in 5. Some of you may know me. My name is Imtiaz, and I have been here for a while now. So I've been here for a while. Not much that I do here, but here I am, trying to see what I can figure out what to do next.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammadul Islam, Mashu. I'm here almost more than 10 years, in Austin actually, but in USA it's more than over 30 years. From the beginning, actually, in 10 years, I'm very much involved in ICBC, and last 3 years I was a Shura member too. Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zafar Khadri. I have been here in Austin for the last 25 years and then have been involved with this ICBC since the beginning. And also, I'm currently a Shura Council member working with the admin committee. Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Akhil Ahmad. I am here in Austin from last 9 years. I've been a volunteer in ICBC for all the time I have been here. I am part of education committee as well, but still trying to figure out and enhance the education activities in ICBC, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Khwaja Murshid. To start, I came early 90s. I came to US first. I was in Clemson, South Carolina. I did master's there, and I was a part of the MSA there. And fast forward, I came to Austin in 94. Was in the NMCC area, then moved to here in around 2008-9. Some brother approached me, said that, hey, you're already volunteering, why don't you join the Shura? Since then, I'm here, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Altaf Hussain. I've been here since the year 2000, roughly. I've been involved with ICBC pretty much right from the beginning, finding the land and the place here, the construction, everything. So I've served with the Shura and the EB before as well. That's me.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm here with ICBC almost 6 years. Any volunteer work from IT to maintenance, I'm there. So alhamdulillah, running for this Shura for the next thing. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman. I'm assuming the newest member here. I've been in Austin for like 2 years, but alhamdulillah, happy to see what I can do, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here, for caring, and for the vision and the future path for ICBC. My name is Imran Ahmed, for those of you who don't know me. I've been here for about 5 years. I came in 21. I have 2 boys and a daughter, Rimsha, who teaches at the Sunday school. My son, Ashir, if you remember, was the one that did the etikaf, the youngest boy to do the first etikaf here. So alhamdulillah, I've been involved with the community. I think all of you know me here, probably know me as the guy with the itar during Ramadan, where I go through with everyone. But looking forward to, inshallah, working with all of you. Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sumaya Al-Bidawi. I was born and raised here in Austin. I was an active member of ICBC ever since I was a kid. I went to UT for my bachelor's and finishing my master's now, and I was an active member of the Masajid there. So now I'm graduating, and I'm ready to kind of bring my energy and my experience here to ICBC.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Rafa. I've been here at ICBC for the past 10 years. I've been involved in multiple different volunteering opportunities here since there was just a few, like 20 regular members at the small masjid to now this beautiful big masjid now, mashallah. From doing bake sales to the clinic to volunteering for the food drive. to being on ICBC's youth committee, to now being on the marketing team. I've been in a lot of different spaces here at ICBC, alhamdulillah. So I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity, and I'm excited to see it grow, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Tarannum Afreen. We moved here to US after I got married with my husband. It has been almost 15 years. It's more than 5 years. I have been in Austin. I have 3 boys, and me and my husband and all of my boys are very actively involved in all ICBC activities, robotics, scouts, or Ramadan, or any volunteer work. I'm a PhD in social work and human resource management. I was a faculty back in India. Never got a chance to work here. So I would really want to work with unmarried working women, or single women, or mothers, or just to work with women and help them bridge with the youth and their children and their partners at home. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, unfortunately we're missing 2 candidates who could not make it, who wanted to be Mujahid Al-Badawi and Abdul Samad Oza are missing. So now we'll start with questions. Please raise your hand for questions if you have one. Okay. Remember, one question per person, 30 seconds. We'll start with Sister Tarannum.
Actually, Jazakallah khair for volunteering to be in the part of the ICBC. My questions to is all of you. Just tell me who has completely read the ICBC constitution before you volunteered for this position?
It's a question, right? Who read? So I would not say I read the complete of it, but yeah. I have a bit of idea of what we need to work, what is the vision, and what is required by being on that Shura Council.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for your question. That's a really, really good question. I have not gone through and read everything. I plan to, inshallah, but I am familiar with quite a few parts of it.
Assalamu alaikum. So I have not read the full of the Constitution yet either, but it's been on my list right after finals is over. So.
It's a very tricky question. No, I haven't read the Constitution as well. But since that's a yes and no answer, that's the answer I can give right now.
No, I have not either.
No, fully, only for the election part.
Yes, I have read the Constitution. Actually, I wrote it.
Yes, I also have to write it many times because, one of the things we do in the Shura in the beginning, we ask everyone who joins, please read the Constitution for sure.
So I read it last year, not this year.
Yeah, I did read the Constitution line by line because I was in admin committee. Part of our job is to make sure we are in compliance with government regulations as well, make sure our constitutions is, part of the, it doesn't have any conflicts with what we are doing, and then also make sure we don't attract unnecessary attention to what we are doing. One of the accomplishments we had is to make sure, we have been in compliance and we don't attract any, alhamdulillah, we didn't attract any unnecessary attention as well. Looking at what's happening in the community, it is very important for us to, going forward, to make sure we do that. Thanks.
Yes, I read it also, since I'm an existing Shura member, and I think, if I remember correctly, it's very much the first day they were saying you have to read those things, the document.
Yes, I have.
Thank you for the short answer. Okay, next we'll take a question from the sisters, but I forgot to mention that Brother Amgad Nimatullah also could not make it, but wish he could.
Assalamu alaikum. This is a question, once again, for everyone. Can you tell us, please, what is your vision for ICBC during your term if you are elected? And also, what are the 2 things you think need to be changed in ICBC operations?
Can you repeat, please?
The first part is, what is your vision for ICBC, the community of ICBC, not just this physical building, for the growth as our community is growing? So what is your vision? That's it.
So I have been out of this city for the last 4 years. Came back here about a year ago, and I come and find parking. I'm able to seat myself here comfortably with air conditioning running, the bathrooms out. Sometimes I have tea, Sheikh Jawad runs his programs. I sit, I go out. I don't understand what else I can contribute except to be part of the executive board's committees to help them drive this organization forward. If you're asking me what my personal vision is, I don't have any vision except to be part of the team that actually helps grow this place, which is what the executive board has been doing seemingly, as I find after 4 years, and hopefully continue to do so, inshallah.
Right. Yeah, thanks. So my vision actually, I think the plan should come from you guys, the community, and our responsibility will be to implement that plan. So how the plan will be implemented, we should be prioritized and focus on one by one and should be implemented.
Yeah, my vision is to make this like a spiritually, everyone we have to grow, and then we have the infrastructure to do so education-wise, as well as like we have excellent khatib who comes over here and then talk about it. Every Sunday we have this khatira talking about what's going on, how to be, how to follow the Quran and Hadith and all this stuff by Jawad Rasul. He's doing a great job. And then, since we already made the infrastructure, we need to grow with it. We need to grow our education and then also, make our kids grow spiritually as well as in other ways. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum for the great questions. I have 3 clear distinction areas that I wanted to work. One is enhancing the educational activity of ICBC. We run a wonderful Sunday school program, and we do a lot of educational activities. But it needs, I would like to contribute a lot in that and enhance the process. The second one is how we get back our youth to the masjid. Right? So we, on an average, every Jummah, we receive 3,000 families. But if you see the average youth that we have in our community for any big program is less. So I would like to devise the program which will attract the youth. The third one is the dawah activities. So we do have a fantastic facility, and we do occasional dawah work. So how do we reach out to our non-Muslim brethren to strengthen our bonds and to give them the Islam message? How can they accept our message and those activities? These are my 3 distinction areas that I want to work. Jazakallah.
Yeah, those of you know, ICBC has expanded a lot, right? Alhamdulillah, from that small place, we have become a huge community now. And as growing pain, we have some issues. Parking is one of them, some brother mentioned. And to me, the most important thing is like how we are getting together, all ethnicity, all Muslims, male, female, young, youth. And of course, we need to grow as spiritually, and also want to make this a kind of cultural center so that people can have a sense of community here. Then the other big thing is we are expanding on the Dawah program, and we are also making some progress there. And inshallah, going forward, that will be we want to make it ICBC one of the top Dawah center in Austin, inshallah.
Yeah, I agree with Brother Khwaja. I think we've grown as a community a lot, especially since COVID. A lot of people moved here as well, so the community has grown tremendously. I think we have the facilities now, and we have a very diverse community, and I think that's one of the thankful things about this place is that we have all ethnicities, all backgrounds that are participating in the community as well as in the Shura, alhamdulillah. So that's a thing that I would like to see continue, so we continue that diversity, inshallah. I think the future investment really, from a masjid perspective, needs to be in the youth. We need to get more youth involved in managing the place, coming up with programs for the youth. I think the youth are the best to understand what is required by their peers, and they need to get more involved and drive those programs as well. I mean, technically we have parking issues, but those are all growing pains, and inshallah, I think the Shura together can resolve that problem as well, inshallah.
From my perspective, I see that, in the community-wise, we are missing a lot of volunteers. I see that everybody is coming pray, but only 10% we are seeing doing the volunteer. So my point is, if I win the Shura, I want to bring everybody for the volunteers. There will be a website there. Everybody should have to sign up and help us. Like I'm engaged with a lot of volunteer work here, and we are actually missing the volunteers for every side. And I see the senior person like Altaf Bhai here, Jafar Bhai here. I want to make a bridge connection with these young people so we can go those young and everybody so they can come here and help us. This is the community work. This masjid needs a lot of help from every corner. So that's my vision, to bring everybody here to do the work together. Thank you.
So, I mean, I can give my answer shortly. I want to be the bridge. But in essence, I mean, by vision, I would have maybe think of it in two ways. One would be empowerment, and the other would be excellence. I think by excellence, I mean not just excellence in understanding when we think of spiritual aspects, but also excellence in terms of what one would call academic integrity and academics generally in the secular world as well. So, I mean, this goes back to my understanding of what a mosque historically was. It was historically the place where people would grow together in a lot of fields and then help everyone around. So I guess that's how I see masajid, and that's what my vision would be. In terms of the other part of the question, in terms of changes, given my short time here, I don't think I have too much in mind on that angle. And I'm grateful to be here because, I mean, it's much better than many other masajid, so it's not fair for me to complain.
Assalamu alaikum. Excellent question. I like that question better than the first one, Mujahid Bhai. But anyway, I mean, I have actually 2 points, and then, of course, a third, which is more of a vision. The first one is really I want to bring transparency and collaboration. I feel that we make too many decisions behind closed doors, and, when information flows across the community, trust grows. So I think that's something that I am really passionate about, and obviously more collaboration. When we work together, we accomplish more than by just any one person or a group of hand-picked people making those decisions. So that's my first agenda. Second is really accountability and results. People should be accountable for the promises they make to the community, whether those promises are made during fundraisers or any other event. But we need to hold people accountable, right? Whether it's, that's something that needs to improve, whether it's recreational activities. So that's the other thing that is as part of my agenda. And it will always be to make sure that there's something we focus on that needs to improve. I won't shy away from addressing it. And my focus will always be on outcomes that matter. And last but not the least, for sure, is really to bring the youth and the youth engagement. I've been here for 5 years. Look in the room around you. How many young boys do you see sitting here? And that says a lot, that we're not engaging with the youth. And if you look at, and I don't mean this in a very disrespectful way, but if you look at the executive board or any other committee, right? All the people, the average age is probably 50, 60. We need to get young people involved so that they can come up with innovative and young ideas which the young generation resonates with and brings them and gives them a reason to engage in the masjid. Jazakumullah khair.
My vision for ICBC kind of builds off the strengths that it already has, and then from there I want to address like the two main points I would consider to build that vision. ICBC's main strength is what it currently has in its community. We are a community of very diverse ethnicities and cultures and ages and family units, and the fact that we're located, amongst all of these neighborhoods, ICBC really is an Islamic center for multiple things of education, of social activity, of growth, right? It's a place where people can come and meet together. And my vision is to kind of see that more streamlined and make it easier and more accepting and welcoming, people feeling more welcomed here within the community. And the way I would want to address that is kind of streamlining, helping streamline the administrative process. Like we've kind of seen how sometimes there are issues with room booking. There are issues sometimes with kind of making sure when hosting an event, the technology is working as it should be. Addressing things such as that. I think, mashallah, our community has grown to such an incredible size, but we're kind of working sometimes with a similar infrastructure as when it was still smaller. Like it's still a small team of people working on things, and there isn't really like direct contacts for any general members of the community if they want to get more involved. So kind of a streamlining of the process for the larger community that we've amassed, mashallah, in the past few years, I think is a main point of something I want to address. The second being kind of what many other people have mentioned is the youth. I am a younger person. I'm 23. I've been in this community most of my life. I've just spent, the past 5 years of my life working with younger students at the Oasis Masjid and the college campus. So I've seen what it's like to have, a masjid full of young people, and I kind of seen what it is that they enjoy and what it is that they want to see. So I want to bring that here to ICBC. Again, this is a family masjid, right? This is a community of families. It's nice to be able to kind of get the kids here engaged so that when they go off to college, they can bring that energy there to whatever it is, bring their deen to wherever colleges they go, and then come bring it back to their families again in the future.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So starting off this question, first I want to ask you guys all a question. When is the last time that you came to ICBC and felt that your heart was connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And do your children share that same sentiment? I want, like, all of you here, like most of the people here are, like some of the other people already answered, are the older generation, right? Do you feel like your children want to come to ICBC, not for the sake of just socializing, or even you yourself, not for the sake of just socializing, but to come and gain knowledge and gain those connections with your community for the sake of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I want to make ICBC a place that people come not only to socialize, make connections within their community, but also create that spiritual sense and that spiritual belonging here, that this place feels like home and that you belong here. Not just for the older generation, not just for the women, the men, but for the reverts, people who are interested in Islam, the youth, the children, every single person that's coming here, no matter who you are, what your background is, if you're not even Muslim, you should feel like you belong the second you enter. So the main things that I want to make happen here are to have, first of all, a youth coordinator, and to have more youth programming. Not just, I feel like a lot of the programming we have, alhamdulillah, we have so many different educational programs. We have Sunday school, we have the clinic, we have so many different volunteering opportunities, but we need to capitalize on that and make those things like known not only to the older generation but to the youth as well, so that they grow up in this community not feeling like, oh, I was just like a stepping stone or I was just a volunteer, but people that are the future leaders of our ummah. Not whether it doesn't matter if they're going to stay in ICBC or if they're moving to a different masjid, if they're going to college in a different state, they should feel like, it is my bigger purpose to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that I do. So like I said, I would like ICBC to have a youth coordinator, more youth programming, more discussion-based programming, not just socializing. Like every Friday we come here, we have a halaqah, we socialize. But how many of you guys actually sit here and listen to the halaqah and gain something out of it, right? And how many children do you see here? How many youth do you see here that actually? Oh, sorry. But yeah, so I want to connect our hearts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially with the younger generation, and so that the next leaders and the next volunteers in our community are grown here and go out to do amazing things in their own lives.
Jazakallah khair. So, as I see, we have still less representation from the women, but alhamdulillah, you guys could all make it. So I will rather think my vision as having a center for women and a family center as well, which works on the needs of the women. So if you see, women are the basic unit of our society. They are the institution, they are the universities, they are the madrasas, where your children learn and gain education and deen. And they are the one who raise the kids, and they are the wives who provide support system for their husband. So being an immigrant, when I came 15 years ago, I was a very important person back in India. I was a permanent faculty in a central university. I left my job, coming here, fending for myself, there was no sense of professional satisfaction because I didn't have the work visa. At the same time, the society here is quite different. There is no familial support. At the same time, there is so much of psychological stress that the women go through. And then, especially when somebody is very productive, you feel that your energy and your capacities are not used to the utmost level and it has to be used. So masjid was one such place back in Utah where I came, and I tried to put all my inputs there to have the education system enhanced, because after the Sunday school, the kids go back to home. And it's the role of the woman or the mother to make sure what they learn in the Sunday school, they should implement in their personal life. When we are talking about youth, you have teenagers, you have youth, you have so many other problems with them. They go back from, they learn so many things at the workshop and so many other places, but then they become reluctant at home sometime. So the women need to have that much of skill. They should have some kind of emotional intelligence among them. Many times the woman does not have a support group. There has to be a structure in the masjid to provide not only familial support, but making women come here without shame, and they can discuss those problems, what they're going on with their family, with their kids, with their children, and have a support system on the basis of deen. Because the woman role should not be only to raise a family. She has to connect with her own deen, and she should make the child, competent enough to become a good person for this world. And you have to raise a good neighbor, I would say. It takes a village to raise a child. That's what I keep on saying. So women and education works hand in hand. And I think if we make this woman the center or a place where women can come and have whatever problems or need and make them function to the utmost of their capacity and make them empowered or help in any way possible, I think it will really solve a lot of problems. Yeah.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. I know it was a complex question, so it took a while, but I'll have to limit to 30 seconds strictly now because it's been already 25 minutes. Next question.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, I congratulate you all for being nominated. I have a simple question. As you know, this job, this responsibility will take some time. So with your personal family affairs, schools, job, after that, how much time you will be able to dedicate for this service for the community?
You want to start from me? So I think women are very eclectic. We are made in a way that you take up a challenge when it comes. So we start juggling being a wife suddenly, and then mother, and then education of the children. So inshallah, alhamdulillah, community work and doing something for our community in the light of Islam, if something is that's the vision, I think it will have a good connection, and we will find time. I would say, it's just, if you have that zest to do it, I believe you can do it. You will find your time.
Thank you for the question. I think I have been a part of multiple different Muslim organizations at the same time, and none of the amount of organizations that I've been involved in school, anything like that. Like, alhamdulillah, right now, I'm not in school anymore, so I have plenty of time to dedicate to ICBC. But regardless of what I'm doing in my own personal life, that does not stop the passion that comes for community work, because that is something that will serve generations for generations and generations to come. So I don't think there should be a limit on that, and I'll do that even in my own personal life.
Assalamu alaikum. I believe that with myself, anything that I'm passionate about and excited about, I will make the time for it. I was a member of multiple organizations while I was taking graduate courses at university. So when I find something I enjoy and I'm passionate about, like I am with ICBC, I make the time. So I'll make sure whatever needs to get done will get done. That being said, though, I am finishing my time at university. I will have the most free time I've ever had in my life for the upcoming next year or two. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to accept the nomination for this upcoming year, is because I know I will have the free time to be able to contribute, especially with something that I'm so excited to work on.
Jazakallah. I'll just say, where there's a will, there's a way. I work from home, and honestly, this responsibility of the Shura, that comes with the passion to do something for the house of Allah and for the cause of the deen. So I think anybody who has that sort of, level of belief and wants to do something for the deen, I think you make time for it. So inshallah, from my side, and I work from home. So, and I'm usually in the masjid 3 times a day as well, almost every day. So alhamdulillah, making time for work, I don't see that as an issue. It's just a matter of prioritization in our lives. Thank you.
Yeah, I think my answer would be very similar to the others, which is, I try to come to the masjid every day, so inshallah, some extra time I should be able to spend some extra time for whatever is needed, inshallah.
I think my 6 years, I already proved that I can give a lot of time this masjid I'm doing. It's not like I'm in the Shura only. That's Allah's house, so I'll do the same thing again, that's over and over. That's my...
I think we all work in our professional lives in jobs where we have to manage our time efficiently. So I think most of us can find the time. That's why we're nominated. And also many of us have served in the Shura before and proven that we have the capacity to actually manage our time and be able to contribute, inshallah, as well.
Yeah, my answer is in the same line. I've been in the Shura spending a lot of time, alhamdulillah, and I like doing it. And also, I'm like an empty nester. My kids are grown up and they're gone from the home, and also work from home. Have a good work, alhamdulillah, good work, work-life balance there. So yeah, I love doing it. So alhamdulillah, I think it's not a problem for me.
Assalamu alaikum. Being working in different organizations, we cannot limit this work to time-bound activity. So we need to up our priority and make sure that whatever the responsibility has been given or taken up, we need to find time for that. Inshallah, I will be able to take up that time and able to deliver. Jazakallah.
I think I will be able to prioritize what is required. Thank you.
Yeah, I can make myself available anytime if you need me, except after 10 p.m.
If I wasn't sure I could juggle work, family, and the masjid, I wouldn't have accepted the nomination.
Are there questions from sisters? Okay, then the brothers have a long line, so I'll go back to them.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, our ESC building is finally opened. And I know probably we as a community, we want to know what went wrong, what went good for this big project. We still have one phase left. The only way, communicate with the Shura is, and we had only one General Assembly meeting 1 year back. If you are elected, how we will improve the communication with the community? I would like to hear from each of you.
Just come and talk to us.
I think for the communication part, I believe there is still a gap. So we need to identify, and process need to be implemented.
Yeah, I think we can improve on this. Maybe try to figure it out. What is the best way to do it?
I think ICBC posts all the group detail, whoever is responsible for that committee, and their email ID is also present. So if you are not reaching any response, I think they have a pretty good response time also within 24 hours. That's what I heard. If the community feels that there is a gap in that, definitely I would like to look into it and improve the process so that we have a better and faster communication for community questions and answers.
Yeah, I think part constitution, as you said, like, it's right now it's we have a general body meeting once a year. So that's what we did last year. And we'll have a new shura, inshallah, and if that needs to be more frequent, of course the shura can consider. And as the brother was saying, we have different committees and the people. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask them directly.
Yeah, I think communication can always be improved. I think it's a very difficult thing. How much information do you share and how do you share it? On the construction in particular, I know we put information in the weekly that we send out every week. I don't recall ever seeing a community member replying to that and asking a question of if the information is incorrect or if they have issues or anything. So I think maybe a lot of people don't read the communication that we send out. So that's the other thing. But as I said, communication can always be improved. If you ever have any questions, I suggest that go directly to the Shura members or EB members and ask as well. We're all volunteers, we're all human, and we make mistakes as well. Things get delayed, and you have the right to ask, and we will respond.
I think if I win in the Shura, I'll push the EB and everybody that we need a bulletin board in the screen that this is the monthly progress is going on. I think that will clear everybody. That's the thing I'll work if I win, inshallah.
Yeah, I'll just mention what the first brother mentioned, which is accessibility. As long as you see us around, just come speak to us and we can forward whatever information is required, inshallah.
Yeah, so your question directly addresses what I mentioned, right, about transparency and collaboration. So I think that's the essence of any community. And as you said, one general body meeting for a year. I mean, these are the kinds of things we have to change. And back to Brother Mujahid's question, if, a lot of the people who wrote the Constitution or have been in the Shura have read it, but for me who's a newcomer or anybody who's a newcomer, we need to revisit that. We need to see what has happened in the last 5-6 years, which does not resonate with the community, because a lot of these decisions have been made behind closed doors or with a few people. So I think your question is very well taken, and inshallah, we as a Shura, we need to be the voice of the community. And once we become that, and we open the channel of communication, I think changes will happen from the bottom up, inshallah.
So I know that ICBC has regular communication, right, through the newsletter, through the WhatsApp, through the website and the WhatsApp. I think one of the reasons that it might be difficult for community members to ask questions, because you're saying you have these questions, and I know because I've had these questions too, is knowing who to reach out to. I would like to see, as a Shura member, make it more accessible for the general community, especially newcomers, to know these are the people you can contact. Make it a public list. This is information. This is, the email that should be more regularly monitored. This is, this is a phone number you can call if you have questions about this. Here is a meeting if you want to, meet your community, meet your Shura members more regularly, so you can kind of ask questions. In the essence of a general body meeting, there needs to be ways for the community to ask, and I think that's kind of missing a little bit right now, and I would like to see more of that.
Thank you for the question. I completely understand that. I feel like transparency is really, really important. And like some of the other Shura nominees mentioned, transparency and the way that this information comes to each different crowd is really important. I've worked in graphic design for the past 5 years, and I feel like each different demographic receives information differently. So while someone might be doing better with a newsletter, someone else might be better at receiving information through social media, Instagram, whatever, right? So I think capitalizing or really just doing as much as we can with all of those platforms is really, really important, especially not just for transparency in construction, fundraising, all of these things, but also just in general, programming and having feedback forums so that everyone in the community has a voice and doesn't feel afraid to, let their voice be heard.
Thank you so much, Jazakillah. Yeah, it's a good question. Transparency and a sense of belongingness go hand in hand, I would say. We have a diverse community, and we should know at the grassroots level what the community people want from us, rather than just making ideas and plans and putting it on the website or anywhere in information. So if sometime information is published and many people does not feel a part of it, it's not very useful. So we should make more plans and projects or things in here where we involve community people with their ideas and thoughts and what they really need out of this masjid. And definitely we need to build a better PR and communication through media and whatever, the flyer. We are still doing a very great job with that, with all the new people coming in. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. I have two questions. One question? Oh. 1A, 1B. Okay, I'll do 1A, 1B. If you have read the Constitution, it promotes and encourages to community to come elect and being involved in the election process. But if you see, like today, there's not much of youth. Sunday night, number one. And again, the vote happens on very weird timing, like where it's like holidays. So how many of you, just yes, no question, will support changing the election timing and all this meet and greet to make it more engaging and more like encouraging for the community? I don't know. Can I ask one more?
Sister Thoranam, you can start.
So as Mohib is holding the timer, we don't have much of time. So yeah, actually, I would say the nominees who are here, they are being nominated by somebody or the other whom they know in the community, and they believe in them. So I totally understand not everybody knows everybody. And at the same time, whatever is being said here, it will be communicated to the youth or any other person who is not here. First of all, we need to have responsibility if we want to be involved in the ICBC. Then those people will be the one who want to go and see who are the Shura member, what they said, what they want, what is their vision. So I think it should first start from the grassroots level. Your awareness is more important than what we are doing here, or we will get a chance to do here.
Thank you for the question. That's something actually I was asking myself when I was coming here. There's a lot of processes that definitely could be improved upon, but like we said, like a lot of us are volunteers, right? So it's a matter of having the people to make those changes and make those processes better. For example, I think today's meet and greet could have been like a Zoom webinar where people online could ask questions, because not everyone is able to come on a Sunday evening when they have work the next day, or people that are traveling or doing other things, especially with a lot of college kids going on break soon. Not a lot of people have time to come to these things, go to the masjid and, commit their time to this. So I think a better process in the future would honestly to be like recorded videos from each nominee on YouTube, so people could go in, watch whatever, I don't know, maybe have a time limit of 2 minutes to, do your pitch, answer like 4 questions that are pretty in-depth and thorough, and then everyone can go and make their own decisions or ask their own questions to each nominee, and maybe in the comments, or have a certain process that's better. But there's a lot of places for better processes.
Thank you for the question. Very similarly, with the meet and greet being tonight, I was kind of in my head like, I have to figure out how I'm going to make this work. Alhamdulillah, I did, because it's the middle of final season right now, and like I said, I'm still a student right now. So I'm taking a quick break from my studying and my projects to make it for this. So I do agree that I think that this timing could have been better planned out. As we see, it's not nearly as full as it would have been, say, a Friday night or something of the sort. I think this is, again, part of what I was talking about earlier, kind of like a streamlining of the administration. What would be the best way to reach out to the greatest number of people, and what processes would do well with that?
Jazakallah. Brother Zahid, your question was very simple. Are we going to change the overall process of election and voting? And it's a very simple answer. If you are not happy with it, it has to change. I cannot understand why this masjid, where we have 2 processes, you're a member, you're a person who dedicates funds every month, but you have to send an email to become a voting member. Simple. If you're a regular member, you should be a voting member. And we are in the age of digital, right? We still have paper ballots. There should be an online list of people. There should be an app. If your name is not there, you click, your name goes to the workflow. We do that for the ping pong. We have more organized voting process in our ping pong committee than in the masjid. So that says a lot, right? So to your question, yes, if nobody is happy, and I'm very passionate about this as well, that we have a certain window of time to be in the voting list and a very small window of time to make it and then to go vote. So I think we need to make it very open and very convenient for the community so everybody's voice is heard. Jazakallah.
Yeah, short answer, yes, if it's needed.
I think a question come to me. I was the election commissioner running last 3 years. Yes, but what Brother Imran said is very funny. Is like a ping pong. What is the ping pong? I don't know. The election, it's a different thing. And my plan is next year I want to make it AI. So 1 week it can go for the vote without anybody's human interaction. I'm creating that thing. So your ID and your face recognition will work. And inshallah, and the sister saying that, profile go to the YouTube, we can go to the YouTube and people can see that thing. That's one, and the election is going for with AI, completely without, human intervention. That will work next year, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I think there's no reason that can't be changed. Anything that encourages greater community participation, I think we should look at it and change whatever's needed to encourage that participation.
Yeah, I also agree. If you have any proposal, please bring it forward. And if we can make more people get involved, sure. See, one of the problems with the community, a lot of time they don't even show up, right? You have the Friday, Sheikh is giving khutbah, people are sitting outside. Even you cannot get people involved there, right? So yeah, I think it's both sides. But if there is any concrete proposal, please bring forward.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, every process can be improved. So if the community feels that this needs to be changed, I would request the current election committee to send a survey to the community and ask them their suggestions so that they can voice their opinions, and based on that majority opinions, we can improve the process.
Yeah. So the Constitution itself has a process to change if we need it. So there is no, the question itself, why we cannot change. There is a process to do it. So we can, if there is a need to do it, we should be able to do it.
Yeah, I think Shura is basically working for the community. So if community won, definitely the Shura will work for that change.
What was it the late Steve Jobs said? You can please some people all the time. You can please all the people sometime, but you can never please all the people all the time, right? If you do this on a Saturday, you'll still miss people. If you do it on Friday, we'll have a work day. I'll be crappy on a Thursday. If I can't find the time to be here, see this as a priority, despite how long has it been announced for? 4 weeks now? So if the community doesn't see the need for it, despite knowing this, putting this on their schedule, changing for what is the question.
Assalamu alaikum. Our masjid lately has been known as the social masjid, and I think that's visible on Friday, and one of the sisters mentioned that already as well. How do you plan to bring in more Islamic knowledge into our community and spirituality and connection to God, as one of the sisters was referring to? How you plan to do that?
What you see, the Shura is actually a body that is supposed to administer this place, which is keep the lights open, the air conditioners running, the bathrooms clean. It's up to Sheikh Jawad now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, education part, actually, we can coordinate and find out the perfect fit for who can teach all those things.
If I understand the question, we do have going on, we do have a process going on. We do have our imam and everyone talking about how to improve, how join those lectures and then sit here and then, you can improve yourself spiritually and then, adhere to our Sharia and then all this stuff like that.
Jazakallah for the great question. So this is one of my priority to see how we can bring back different sects of our community. Definitely, Imam cannot dedicate his 24 hours giving session to everyone. So we need to have different committees for youth, different committees for the ladies, different committees for the kids. And you should have a responsible person in that so that they connect person in person. You cannot influence people with WhatsApp messages and all those things. You have to have a personal connection. For that, we need to have dedicated leader for each section of our community. So inshallah, we will propose those committees and those responsible person, especially with the growth of our community, we definitely need a youth director. So without that, the community is not going to bring back youth. We have to have a youth director, and as sisters mentioned, right? So we need to have sister coordinators, proper sister coordinators, so that we can address those issues as well.
Yeah, social gathering is not necessarily a problem, but I agree that our priority should be the religious part first, right? And we have, we got this feedback, and we have a process. We meet with the imam and see how we can do it. And as the number of brothers were saying about the youth director, the main constraint there is the money, of course, right? The inshallah, we're getting things streamlined, and that's one of our priority that, inshallah, we'll get we need a few other positions also, but youth director is one of them, and hopefully that will help, inshallah, too.
Yeah, I think this is always the issue, right? I mean, you need to have a balance. And typically, I think in the past, what we have tried to do is to combine spiritual lectures with social events so we can attract more people from the community to come and attend. I think our experience in the past has been that if you can arrange these lectures and you can have these, but very few people attend. So that's always the issue. If the community doesn't come, then the feedback we get is, okay, maybe it isn't important or it isn't interesting to the community. That's why we try to combine it with some of these social events as well. But I do agree, we need to have more of those activities, but that feedback needs to come from the community, and the community needs to participate so that we can arrange more of those events that the community actually wants to see.
Yeah, I agree with that. Youth director we needed. But before that, I want to say, we have a Tuesday night fiqh class. We have this brother, Sulaiman brother, has a Saturday night, hadith class. I don't see much people there, We see the whole community is missing, actually. So ICBC is actually trying to bring those people here but I see most of them are just skipping or they are not coming, because this Tuesday, I think, is a very important fiqh class going on, and Saturday, Brother Sulaiman has a small, session going on. I think we can attend those kind of things, always, That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think my answer would be twofold. One would be relevance. I think one reason where a lot of people in my age do not want to go to certain places is because they don't feel like they're being spoken to, or the things said are not relevant to them. So I think one part's relevance, and then I will give a slight pushback to your question, which is, what's the problem with socialism in the masjid? Isn't that better than socialism somewhere else? So I guess it's just a balanced answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, great question again. Yeah, I mean, as you said, like socially, the masjid is, we're one of the top masjids in Austin or Greater Austin. But obviously, I think it's important to bring the spirituality in, because any masjid, which is a house of Allah, is devoid of the spiritual essence. And Allah talks about this in the Quran when He talks about Masjid al-Dirar, right? And Masjid al-Nabawi, He says the other one taqwa and the other discipline. So the basis of a masjid is taqwa. And obviously, we need to do a lot to bring that in. But then again, as everybody said, it's not just, because I personally think Imam Jawad has done a great job. He has engaged the youth, and he is engaging the youth. My children are a prime example. All my 3 kids, have a relationship with him, and alhamdulillah, they come to the masjid. So, but it's also an effort that has to be done by the families. We have to play a part also to make sure that if our kids are not coming to the masjid, what are we doing? When we see people outside drinking tea and socializing, and the room inside is empty, we should go out and reach out and say, brothers, let's go in, because your children follow you. So yes, definitely as a shura, I think we will work with the imam very closely, and we will go and revisit every program based on turnover and see where we are lacking, and we will get feedback. And if we need to improve, to bring people in, because we want this masjid to be the masjid of taqwa, and that's the #1 priority.
So yes, I agree. That's a very important question because alhamdulillah, it's nice to have so many people here at the masjid, but we have to remember that numbers aren't the goal. A masjid is a house of ibadah first and foremost. The education, the learning, the Islamic kind of the Islamic way of life, learning about that should be the priority. So I do think that we should place as a shura more emphasis on that. And I do think as a shura that is the one that helps run the masjid, it should be their responsibility, I agree, to work more closely with the imam, say, okay, what is the problem? What is it that we're lacking? How do we think that we should reach out to the community more? And as the brother mentioned, I agree that the shura should be an example first and foremost. If we see people outside, we have to bring them indoors, say, Assalamu alaikum, this is going on. I think it's good to attend. Bring your kids in, give the programming more to the kids and ask the community directly what is it that they want to see. One last thing is I think that there also should be more like regular programming, so like kind of more regular series that are established and more well advertised to the community so people know like, oh, Wednesday nights I pull up, this is going on, to make it more easy for people to engage with the activities going on.
Thank you for the question. I agree. I think, alhamdulillah, our community has grown so much that we have thousands, like 1,000 people coming like in Ramadan or for Fridays for sessions. I mean, for the socializing aspect, but you don't see them getting that, religious or spiritual connection to the masajid that we used to have when we had a smaller community of just 20 people in the masjid before, right? So why is that? Why is it we see barely any people here? Like, if you think about it, if you think about your children and the fact that if they have a connection to the masjid, why are we lacking that? When you see the imams programming on Fridays, no one comes inside to listen, and I think it's because of, it's only like catered towards a specific group, a specific audience. And so we need to think about, okay, on Fridays, we have a whole new building, right? So we could have multiple programs at once. We have so many people in the community that are so knowledgeable and have so much knowledge on so many specific topics, and we can benefit every single type of community on Friday if we want to. We just don't, right? So we need to just, do as much as we can in programming.
So I think spirituality was the thing that your sister asked. I would say we should practice more on building our iman, trying to build and inculcate good habits in our children, how to be a good neighbor. If you go to school, how to interact with the people of other faith. There has to be some basic theology book by some scholars, and this could be a handout which we could use, because coming here in the masjid, we are all Muslim. We know we can interact. We know how to do our religion. But I think we should be a good example of who we are, and in that way we can increase our spirituality in our heart and faith. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Congratulations to all of you who are nominated to join the leadership of the ICBC. My question is a practical one. With the EAC coming into full steam, and now we have the whole facilities worth more than $12 million. Brother Mohsin can confirm that. Now the great question is that how do we keep it running in future? In terms of keeping it clean, hygienic, safe, secured. At the same time, provide all the bills, the new staffing that we want to have. How do we keep it going in future? Which means, how do we have finances for it? We cannot be asking for donations forever. So as new leaders, what kind of thoughts or forward-looking thinking you will be able to come if you are selected as a new Shura member? Jazakallah khair.
So I think we should engage into activities which can bring some financial gains to the mosque by having something like what you call like it's a very small thing called microfinance by doing the bake sale on Ramadan. I mean, we could all pitch in to do something more on a bigger scale to represent what Muslim, because we have people from all kind of skills, and that way we can, I mean, like a self-help group, we can raise our funds of our own rather than just asking for financial help. I mean, it should run like a microfinance also. The masjid could run like a microfinancial institute where we can generate fund of ourselves.
Thank you for the question. I think that every single person on the Shura should have a specific role dedicated to not only this masjid, but the EAC. Now that we have so much infrastructure, alhamdulillah, we have so many opportunities to grow in every aspect. So I think every single person on the Shura, everyone on the EB should have a role. Like, let's say it's just turning off the lights in the nighttime, changing the AC, making sure the doors are locked. Everyone should have a role in that sense, and they should be accountable for it. And because if we all work together, and even just having volunteers, like people that aren't on the Shura, having roles like that will not only make you feel more connected, but everything will be more streamlined, the processes will be a lot smoother, and we can focus more on programming and the future of the new masajid, right? For example, I've been working on the new young professionals group, inshallah coming soon in the new building, and so to focus on that, we need to, first streamline those processes.
Thank you for the question. I think first, when it comes to managing the infrastructure, you need to have point people for it, either within the shura or kind of elected from within the community to help manage this. Having people directly responsible for certain aspects within the EAC is going to be, so then you know who to hold accountable for these things. You know that these people have that responsibility, and if that responsibility is not fulfilled, then maybe it's time to pass it on to someone else. This makes sure that the running of the EAC, there is accountability behind it. Two, when it comes to financing, I think the EAC has the possibility to be self-sustainable by running programs within it, holding programs within it that pay for the running of the building itself. So take, for example, I know on Friday nights sometimes, kids running around. Alhamdulillah, it's wonderful to have kids in the masjid, but if you've got little kids where it's hard to sit still, babysitting could be a huge source of revenue within the EAC for the masjid, right? So kind of offering a babysitting service, having parents pay to have their kids babysat there if they're too young to listen in, and this will also bring revenue into the masjid, right? So making use of the space to host sessions, to host services that will benefit the people of the community while also funding the masjid itself.
Yeah, I mean, short answer, because that question was more than 30 seconds, Mumtaz Uncle. So to give that answer in 30 seconds is not just. But what everybody said, we have to come up with a sustainable model, right? I mean, we can't continue on fundraisers, but obviously fundraising is going to be an essence of our survival. And obviously we're going to have those donators, as part of our culture of sustaining a masjid. That goes everywhere in the United States. But yeah, to answer your question, as everybody said, sustainable programs, right? We have to become sort of revenue generating, revenue enabling activities and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the answer to that question is not a 30-second one. So just to be honest.
I think to answer the financial part first, I think the masjid is on the right track with the endowment that begun last year. And I think if that continues maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, it will start to get self-sustaining. And I think for the remaining parts of the question, I think the other answers were sufficient.
Yeah, the new ESC building, I think we need the individual fundraising, not only the fundraising, we need the sustain, how can we make the income ourselves. I see that we are always going for the fundraising to, the thing. I see the Masjid, GIC, and other Masjid, they have some kind of income source for their operation. So I think we need to plan for the next phase. How can we make the operation money by ourselves, not from the donation? That should be our main focus right now.
This is always a challenge in every masjid, right? How to find a sustainable way to finance the activities that you have. I think endowment is one way. The other is we have to make investments in other areas. Maybe it's not necessarily here, but invest in some commercial property so you can generate income here as well. If we're going to go build the next phase, the multi-purpose hall, a lot of the sports activities will be inside. So maybe the basketball court we have, we can put some commercial property there and maybe generate income from that as well. So I think there's ways to do this, but it's longer term. I think short term is very difficult to find a quick solution to this.
Yes, endowment is one of the big issue that we need to do. Actually, even from beginning, when we were in a small building, we started talking about it, right? How we need to set some money aside and try to buy some property so that it will generate some revenue. It was not that easy at that time because we're still, even now, we're expanding mode, right? When you're expanding, you spend most of your money in buildings, infrastructure and so on. But we started it, alhamdulillah, and we have already some money there, and it will keep on growing, inshallah. And the other smaller things we can do is probably the building we have. We already started doing it. We charge very minimum amount that gives at least some part of it, right? 20% or something. But say there are one inquiry, some people are asking, hey, can we kind of rent the basketball court? Or maybe in ESC, that's something we're also looking at, that can we rent it out to some other people and to generate some money. But I think long-term endowment is the way to go. Just on the other side, if you look at everywhere in the world, in Islamic, masjid, fundraising or donation is one of the part, right? So I think, yes, if the community shrinks for some reason, that amount will reduce, but that is going to be always one way to collect some money, inshallah. But endowment and stuff like that will be the main priority.
Jazakallah. So I can think of 4 points. So number one is self-sustaining programs. So whichever program Masjid is allowing, we need to make sure that those programs are self-sufficient to fund themselves and also generate revenue for them. Then we can have the facilities can be rented out to the community members so that it generates a small amount of revenue stream for the masjid. Third one is to create endowments, more endowments. And fourth one is, if I remember correctly, last fundraising, there was a business person that he was ready to create an entrepreneurship incubation program if the masjid supports it. I think we can explore that option that can create a new system for the youth of the community so that they can come and create some new companies, incubation method or self-financing, right? So they can create companies and they can be part of masjid financing in the future, inshallah.
I've seen in India, people do the waqf kind of thing where they donate the lands or houses and stuff to the masjid or, similar religious institutions. I think similar thing is endowments here. And then I also seen same thing happening in a lot of hospitals, non-profit hospitals. They get properties donated to them. So we can encourage our community to, participate in the endowments kind of thing. I think it will be really a good solution going forward. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I agree all of those things that all brothers says. But on top on it, that whatever the money we collect, during the fundraising event, we should not, I don't know, but I'm just saying we should not, keep those money in a bank and idle. We should need to be invested so money can bring the money.
That is a really tough question. If you're asking for an answer in 30 seconds, you need to sit down and think. Honestly, I have no idea how this can be done.
We'll allow one more question from the sisters. The last question. I'm very sorry, and there's many more questions. Forgive me.
How would you describe ICBC and your vision in one word?
One word, remember.
Masjid. What is that? One word, masjid.
What was the question, actually? I didn't get it.
How would you describe ICBC in one word?
Oh, it's okay. It's a masjid.
I agree. That's the basis, what we are.
A dynamic center that caters to all sects of our community. Okay, a dynamic masjid.
Next one.
Dynamic masjid.
Dynamic masjid towards a community.
I would say family.
Blessing from Allah. blessing then.
Lamp.
That's my daughter with the question. Tough one. Community.
You said to describe the vision we have, then efficient.
She said efficiency. I would say I would want ICBC to be a home.
For me, ICBC is like one ummah. We should all be together.
Okay, Jazakallah. If you have more questions, you can come talk to your candidate, all the candidates if you want, but I have to close it. It's quite late, and I'm sorry for taking so long and not getting to all the questions. Jazakallah khair.